Welcome back, fellow mayors, to Fisher Enclave City, where we showcase the overall stats so everyone can all observe the healthy and prosperous city growth. Because I feel that it's important to showcase the entire city so that everyone gets an idea on how the city is progressing, if it's actually collapsing, or if it's all good. So this is the entire view of the city so far, and we don't have any alarming alerts. There are not enough goods or not enough education or any death waves. We do have these though, which I consider as just delivery delays. They will never abandon. What else? Yeah, again, the reason why I show this is because you can actually hide the alerts, which will make your city look like it's flawless, but then somewhere down the mist or at the corner there's like a death wave somewhere or abandoned buildings. But so far as city is pretty healthy. This, we have a issue with police, but I'm pretty confident that will be taken care of quite soon. What else is there to look at? Let's look at our city stats. So this is a pretty healthy graph. There are no like intense downward spikes, so this is considered good. And of course our population is at 72,000 with a traffic flow of 92%. So let's look at the top view of the city so you can see where all the red parts are. 93. Wow, it ticked up. Well, it was only for a second, but still that was pretty nice. We have this traffic here, but that's like less than 5 cars stopping, so that's still pretty much healthy. It's moving forward. This looks like there's some traffic, but it is still moving, and it ticked down to 91. So, but that's still pretty good. It's nothing too alarming, I would say. In today's episode, we are going to intentionally murder our traffic flow from 92% down to under 80% traffic flow by building our airport island. And I am going to utilize every airport in the game, including the cargo airport and the cargo airport hub. And on top of that, I am going to throw in a stadium and a harbor to guarantee excessive traffic. Then we will miraculously fix the traffic back up to 92%, and this will be all done without any game-changing mods like Move It or Traffic Manager. This is Captain Obvious, and welcome to the Airport Design and Traffic Management. Every start of a city begins with an entrance, interchange, and when you expand to any new area, there should be a highway and an interchange nearby. This custom interchange is primarily built to cater for the cargo airport hub, while its secondary objective is a means to enter and exit the airport island. This interchange is particularly difficult to design because it is on the corner of the island that I may fill in the rest of the island with every airport in the game. That is 5 different types of airports. In the previous episode, I mentioned that I wanted to place a cargo hub that will transport ship cargo to the island, then travel by train utilizing the train track that is between the bridge highway. Instead, I opted to connect the cargo airport hub to that train line and build a harbor to bring in cruise ship tourists, which will generate more traffic. We now have 2 structures that will invite glorious traffic to the island, and this is not including the other 2 airports that I built in the beginning. When designing an island, it is important to first finalize the shape of the island before zoning and populating your new territory. Islands are extremely prone to flooding, even with the slightest terraforming that you do to either expand or shrink your island. The flooding will interrupt your businesses and may demolish zoned buildings, which will taint your city stats. Therefore, before filling in the island, we will first define its borders. To determine the borders of the island, I am using the runway strips as guide. It makes little sense to build anything near the airport runway strips, therefore building the island border is the best alternative. We have the cargo airport hub, metropolitan airport, international airport, generic airport, and the generic cargo airport. This is honestly ridiculously redundant, but this is a personal challenge. I have never done nor seen anyone do this before. At least now the benefit for constructing this monstrosity is that you can see what an island with all airport types in the game can look like and what kind of traffic it will generate. All the airport types in one island sounds like a meme, but I intend to make this fully functional and beneficial to the overall city. Although, probably the biggest question on having all 5 airports is, will they all function? And nearby is another island which I will extend and make this a high density residential and tourism commercial specialization island. If you are new to the channel, my overall goal for this mostly vanilla series with only visual mods is to reach over 100,000 population while maintaining an above 90% traffic flow. In the early episodes of this series, I have been showcasing preventive measures to avoid or reduce traffic. Only recently have I begun to intentionally generate traffic while having a strategic plan to resolve that traffic. What I am doing now without Move It or the Advanced Road Tools mod is creating a vanilla underpass for the train line between the bridge highways to connect to the cargo airport hub. Having a train track directly cross a road will totally cripple traffic for any vehicles that wish to cross because there will be heavy train traffic. We are not trying to totally cripple our traffic. We still want it to be manageable and recoverable after all the trucks and passengers emerge from the airports and harbors. Now I will determine the borders of the residential and tourism island, which does not look at all too fancy. Provided the remaining space that we have left for ships to travel on the river, we will have to settle for this island design. Nevertheless, it is not so much of what the shape of the island looks like, but how we fill it in and its overall purpose. And of course, every new area, including this tiny island, will need an arterial road that will be connected to the airport island. After we have determined its entry and exit point, we will of course require a public transportation method. And the pre-planned tier 1 mode of transportation is the monorail station. I have just created a giant park and general district with the self-sufficient residential, commercial tourism, and IT office specializations. This island frankly does not have a lot of space, and this is when the Park Life DLC shines the most. Just by adding park gates, pedestrian paths, fences, and trees makes a huge difference when it comes to design. Also, selective zoning a 4x4 while providing space to plant trees also adds an aesthetic appeal. On the left side of the island are mostly residential. And due to the noise pollution generated by the monorail station, everything on the right side of the island will be where our tourism and IT offices will be. And already, the park gates with pedestrian paths diversify the layout of the bland road structure. To the edge of the islands by the quays, I randomly zoned a 2x1 commercial tourism, and between each zone, I lined with sugar maple trees. By far, sugar maple trees are the captain's choice when making a line of trees. They are not too large to block the features of the buildings, nor are they too small. They also do not vanish when zooming out too far, and they are also immune to pollution decay. Another common practice that I like to do is to make any growable building historical from the first level. This is a personal choice because I am simply trying to avoid any height competition to any nearby unique building. And speaking of which, this island needs at least one unique building, and to the tip of the island, I placed down the high-rise office building from the Modern Japan Content Creator Pack. Oh, look at that! That is so cute! We have traffic! Look at all the little cars occupy all three lanes. And deep in the island, we have tourists coming out from the airports, and there could also be fans coming out from the stadium. And as they try to drive out from the airport, they are met with more traffic from the cruise ship passengers who are also trying to leave the island. Then they take a small one-lane exit to be met with the cargo airport hub until finally they can enter the highway into the city. Some may consider that I have a terrible interchange, which explains the traffic, but I will keep this interchange as is. And I am in no way, shape, or form worried about how to remedy this traffic. We have filled in the outer edges of the airport island, and while I add in runway stripes, let us observe the airports to make sure that they are functional. I see planes coming in and out from the cargo airport hub, metropolitan airport, generic cargo airport, and the generic passenger airport. But unfortunately, we have yet to see any activity in the international airport. In any case, let us continue to decorate around the basketball closed stadium. I specifically chose a closed roof stadium because it would be awkward to see planes flying overhead in an open roof stadium. I also like the color and shape of the basketball building because it matches with the international airport. And to the sides, you may notice the blimp depot and helicopter depot, which is not operational but it is ready when it is time to activate them. Many may consider that blimps and helicopters are terrible transportation options. But in a future episode, I will demonstrate how to effectively and convincingly utilize these misunderstood and underrated flying vehicles. And in the heart of the airport island, the dark blue commercial zones represent the modern city center district, while the light blue commercial zones are the organic and local produce districts, which will be for the parking lots. But for the first time, I am actually using the Plop the Growables mod just to plop down the parking lots instead of deleting and waiting for them to spawn. Parking lots is the only time that I use this mod, but I hope that this does not break the vanilla spirit of the series. Because technically, we could just wait here, wait for the parking lots to spawn, but that will hurt you as much as it will hurt me waiting for the right building to spawn. So what do you think? Is the vanilla spirit of the series broken for doing this, or is this acceptable, especially when it is only used for the parking lot buildings? Oh hey, look! There is a plane from the international airport. So that means all airports are operational. But some airports appear to be more active than others because we now have vulture planes circling the cargo airport hub. Other issues that I can see are not having enough customer alerts in our tourist commercial buildings, despite the fact that we have hundreds of tourists coming in. Hence why traffic must be properly managed, otherwise there would be delivery delays of goods or raw materials going to their designated areas, trash or the dead not being picked up on time, or customers not reaching their destinations, which will cause the commercial buildings to abandon. Okay, we have punished our city long enough and we have filled in all the major parts of the airport island, and it is time to fix the traffic by providing transportation within the island by tram and out the island by monorail. Before I fix the traffic, let us have a closer look at what we have built and what you may have missed during the top view time-lapse speed. Our current traffic flow is at 76% because we ambitiously built all the airports in the game, then squeezed in this harbor and a stadium right over here. And it looks like we just finished the game. Yeah, they're all leaving the stadium. Did we win? We actually lost, but you can see that I actually did not use any expenses. So the entire time we have been winning without any extra effort whatsoever. Anyway, looking closer, you'll notice that I have added a tram track right here, right in the middle, that is within the distance of the airports and the stadium, which in turn is connected all the way to the harbor, and it is also connected to the monorail station right here, and which in turn is actually connected to the entire city. So there's a network everywhere. Now I will connect the island to the entire city, starting with the monorail, and I will put this on pause because I want to show how amazing it's going to be after I put all the transportation, and then it will just magically fix itself. And now I will create tram routes, and we're gonna keep it like this. So our tram would, of course, will need to start exactly in front of the airport. So I will place one right over here. So this will cater to that. This will cater to both the stadium and this two airports. And then instantly it will go all the way to the monorail. And back again. So that is our first loop. Now for this one, we will start it off here. And then we have this little area here because I do not want them to go this way. I want to take this route. I want to avoid the crossing of trams. Then right here. And then it will loop back. And it should not actually cross here. So I need to update this. All right, we'll continue. So it goes here, and then it will go this way. So you notice they did not touch each other in any way. And close. So this is no longer necessary. We'll just update this. Okay. So now that everything is connected, I also want to change the colors of our new tram lines, so that I could easily identify what is like moving around, especially in this area. Okay, so you could find your tram just by mousing over and it will highlight itself. So this is the airport tram. So we will change this to the color light blue because the sky is blue. And then this tram, which goes to the harbor, you could see it highlight. We will change this to color blue because the ocean is blue. Okay, so our transportation is all set up in our airport island, but before I hit play, I want to update this because this little crack on the earth really bothers me. So let me fix this first, and I'll make a few changes here as well. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this, and now we could finally watch the entire thing unfold, where the traffic will magically disappear. So now we are on play, everything should be operational, and I will simply just plant trees. And what you should be doing is actually observing these areas. As you can see, vehicles are still emerging from the harbor. So here's a new a cruise line ship coming in, and there appears to be more. So it's gonna take a while for the game to actually realize that there's new transportation routes. So that should all like settle in after I finish planting trees. So I'm gonna keep this in real time, as we observe this side and also the airports to see if there's any vehicles coming out, or will they start taking the trams and taking the monorail out the city. So miraculously, right now I think the traffic has totally dissipated and it's just over here now. There are rarely any vehicles coming out from here, from this airport. We still see cars coming out from the harbor, but not as many. So this is really slowly starting to disappear. So we just need to wait for this to continue out into the city, and then we will have our actual traffic flow. But you can totally see here, it's pretty much gone. So we're gonna give it a few more minutes. So I'll just continue planting trees. This is basically the dream in playing City Skylines, where you basically, just enjoy building and not worry about things like traffic flow, because that really destroys your mood or like the fun of the game, where you're basically distracted. So even if you play sandbox with unlimited money, you still have that issue with traffic, where you get distracted and you feel like you have to stop what you're doing just to repair that. But if you have the basic knowledge or vanilla gameplay, then you would not have this issue. You could be doing this just by planting trees and wait for traffic to disappear. Look at that. That is simply amazing. This is what you want. And you can see all the abandoned buildings are slowly disappearing as well, because now there is a fluid flow around our island. And here you can see it's completely gone now. They're like, hey, I want to take that tram. I don't want to drive. I didn't bring my pocket card today. Right? This is the best way to play City Skylines. Just being totally chill. Like the entire time I was not worried. Let's give it a few more minutes. Right now I'm just kind of killing time by planting these trees. Okay, I think that is enough time. Let's actually check what our traffic flow is now. It is back at 92. Easy. Exactly what that says. Easy. Well, not terrible. I mean, I did it at top view. It might have been better. I don't know if I could make this prove that, but yeah, I never panicked the entire time. Another thing to note is this is a nice glitch or a nice error to see, because you rarely get this happening. But if there's like too many planes, just delete it and plant it back down. But basically that is how everyone should be playing City Skylines, being relaxed. And there, I didn't delete a single building. They all just kind of fix themselves, and we checked the entire city. There is still no issues whatsoever. Let's check again that beautiful traffic flow. Okay, it ticked down to 91, but that's all right. That's okay. That's kind of expected. We won't keep it at like 92 and any higher than that. The more we build, the more traffic will the more prone traffic that we will get. But look at this, we actually, at least we built every airport in the game. I've never done this before, and adding the stadium and harbor was just for fun. I just wanted to see how much stress I could do here and see if we could manage it. And overall, of course, the reason why the traffic dissipated is having a great network throughout your entire city. So this is connected to basically everything, and even from now, this is even planned to connect here, and even this. So each time you expand, just prepare something. On a final note, this is actually a cheese park. because I wanted to see how much money we could get from all these tours. But as you can see, they're not actually, or not a lot are using this path. But let's check how much we are earning. Nevertheless, we are earning 14 grand. We could spike that up to double it, but we are still not yet on the max level. So let me just add a few things, and there we go. Now it's level 5. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is that the Metropolitan Airport and the International Airport, they both have metro or subway tunnels, or stations I mean, built into those buildings, which I could have used to easily connect to the rest of the city. But if you have been watching my series or my live gameplay, I do not play with tunnels whatsoever. As you can see, these are black lines. There are no other black lines still in the entire game. This is another station with its own metro station. And yeah, as you can see, I don't connect that simply because tunneling in general is overpowered. If you wanted to, you could create an entire highway underground from one end of the city to the other. And that concludes today's episode. Feel free to let me know what you think about the all airports in one island build. Was this crazy, or was it more crazy to witness a 76% traffic flow go back up to 92% just while I was planting trees? This is Captain Obvious. I am he who plants trees to remove traffic. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next episode.